Welcome to another review from the Four Corners of the Board with your host, Graeme Anderson. Hello everyone, this is Graeme Anderson from Four Corners of the Board. Today we're going to be looking at Dice Town, a Western-themed dice rolling game. Now, I like my dice rolling games short, lighthearted, but combative. And this throws in an element of poker and trying to read other players, which are also two things I really enjoy. It also comes from designers whose games I've enjoyed as well. So, does this game fulfill my expectations? Let's get to the table. I'll show you how it's played. Then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts on Dice Town. Okay, so here we have Dice Town set up for a three-player game. Each player is going to get a cup to roll their dice. They're going to get their dice, and as you can see, all the dice have a different face on them, and they are basically like poker dice. So you have 9, you've got 10, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace all on these dice. Everybody starts off with $8, and there are $3 in the bank. All the gold nuggets are placed here on the board. And you have the general store cards and the claim cards. One person is going to be designated the sheriff, and the sheriff will break ties, and whoever holds the sheriff card at the end of the game is going to score 5 points. So the goal of the game is to get the most points. So how do you get the points? Well, you're going to get 1 point for every gold nugget that you have. You're going to get 1 point for every $2 that you have left over. There are some of the general store cards which will give you points. Some of the claim cards, well, all the claim cards will give you points. And again, who's ever got the sheriff at the end of the game is going to score 5 points. So we are going to lay out the claim cards, and the claim cards are all basically the same. The most important thing is the value of them up here. So that one's worth 5, 1, and the cards range from 1 to 5. And you are going to lay out the top 3 claim cards, and you're ready to go. So what's going to happen is everybody's going to take their dice, and they're going to put them in their cup, going to shake them up, and secretly roll them. Now, that wasn't very secretly, so this is what I've rolled. I've rolled a 9, 10, 2 jacks, and a king. On your turn, you're going to select and to keep 1 die. And you're going to secretly select it. Let's say I'm going to keep the king, and then everybody's going to reveal it at the same time. So I have now locked the king, and you must lock at least 1 die every round. If I want to lock, let's say, the 2 jacks, on your roll, the first die that you're going to lock is free, and every die on that same turn that you lock is going to cost you $1. So if I want to do those, I would have to pay $1 to the stagecoach. And then basically everybody's going to roll their dice, and once everybody has locked their 5 dice, so the maximum is going to be is 5 rolls, you are then going to evaluate who wins each of the buildings in Dice Town. So the very first building you can win is the gold mine. Whoever has the most 9s is going to win 1 gold nugget for every 9 in their winning hand. So for example, here I have 1 9. Let's say I was the winner, I would get 1 gold nugget. So at the end of the game, that's going to be worth a point. Whoever has the most 10s, so the winner with the most 10s, will get to claim all the money that's in the bank. So whoever wins it is going to get the $3 the game starts with. Whoever wins the most jacks is going to be able to go to the general store. And however many jacks they've won with, they're going to take that many cards from the general store. So let's say I win, and I have 2 jacks here. So I will get to draw 2 cards. I'm going to look at them, and I'm going to pick one to keep and discard the other one. You only ever get to keep 1 card, but the number of jacks will determine how many cards you can draw to look at. Quite often they will be kind of action cards like this. They could be worth just endgame points like this one, or action cards kind of like that. So your player of the choice gives you $4. So these cards will be either action or the point cards at the end of the game. So you win the most jacks, you take that many cards, and you get to keep 1. The saloon, whoever has the most queens, will be able to steal a card from someone. So you are going to look at the number of queens, and you're able to take that many cards from one player, select one of those cards, and give the rest back. So if you roll 3 queens, I can go to the player on my right and say, you know what, give me 3 of your cards. Randomly, I will choose one. I get to look at them all. I'll choose one, and I'll give the other 2 back to the person. So you can either steal the general store cards or the claim cards. So that is the saloon with the queens. For the kings with the sheriff, whoever has the most kings gets to become the new sheriff. Now the sheriff is important because he will break all ties, whether he is involved with the building or not. So if I'm the sheriff and someone has, let's say these two people have tied on the number of jacks, I have the sheriff badge. It means I get to decide which one of these two players gets to claim the general store. The town hall will be where you're going to compare your 5 dice that you've rolled to see who has the best poker hand. All the poker hands are shown here on the back of the claim cards, right from a pair right down to 5 of a kind. So who's ever got the most, well, the best poker hand from their dice is going to win the town hall in the mayor's favor. That means whoever wins will take the first claim card, the bottom claim card. For every ace that you have in your winning poker hand, you can take the additional cards. So right now, let's say a 1, I've got no aces, so it means I only collect the first one. If, let's say this jack was an ace, and that was my winning hand, I get to claim this because I have the best poker hand, and I get to claim the next one down. So I get these 2 cards. If I had all aces, I can take all 3 cards. So that's how those claim cards work. There's only ever 3 at one time. So let's say I won both of those. This one will shift down at the end of the round, and we'll draw 2 new cards. These cards go face down in front of me, and these cards will now be available to anyone at the saloon to steal one of my cards. If you've won nothing here, so you haven't won any of the poker hands, you get to go to Dock Bad Luck. It's kind of a catch-all mechanism, so you will always get to do one thing during the round. These are kind of the prime locations, but if you don't win those, you'll get to go to Dock Bad Luck. And Dock Bad Luck, you will take one of your dice, and you're going to perform the actions associated with it. So if you have a 9 or a 10, you get to take one of the cards from your hand, turn it face up in front of you, and that is now locked. No one can steal this. This is yours till the end of the game, and there's no way someone can take this from you. If you use a jack or a queen on your dice, so I use a jack and a queen, you get to take the top card from the general store. You don't get to look at it, you're just going to take that into your hand, and whatever it is, you get that. If you do a king, it's performed a small sting, which means you get to take $2 from each other player. So if I use this at that Dock Bad Luck, these 2 players would have to give me $2 each. And if I use my ace, then everyone else will have to give me 1 gold nugget. So $2 is worth a point, and a gold nugget is also worth a point. So they both work out the same. But at the beginning of the game, people may not have gold nuggets, so you may want to take the money instead. You're going to keep on doing this. So once everything has been evaluated, and you always go from the 9s all the way up to Dock Bad Luck, when that is all done, you're going to shift down the claim cards. You're going to refill whichever ones were taken. And during the rolling, if you decide to pay to keep extra dice, you're going to place it there. At the end of the round, whatever money is in the stagecoach will be added to the bank. And that's the only way money is going to get put into the bank. So if no one has paid for extra dice during the round, and this bank is empty, then even if you score, let's say you win with the most 10s, you're going to get no money because there's no money left in the bank. So money's not automatically added to the bank during the turn. The only way the money is going to get there is through the stagecoach action, which is someone keeping more than 1 dice on their roll. And that also brings up a good point. Let's say I had the most 10s and there's no money to take. If I didn't win anything else, I still get to go to Dock Bad Luck. So you get to go to Dock Bad Luck when you do not receive anything. So each one of these stations allows you to receive something. Even if you win something and there's nothing to receive, then you get to go to Dock Bad Luck. You keep on going until all the gold is gone. And then whoever has the most points, again, each gold nugget is worth a point. Every $2 is worth a point. There are some of the general store cards which will give you points. The claim cards are going to give you a point. And whoever has a sheriff is worth 5 points. Whoever has the most points is the winner. Now, let's get back and I'll tell you what I think about Dicetown. Okay, first off, I really enjoyed Dicetown. Now, normally my type of game is a deep strategic Euro game, but Dicetown just worked for me. And I think it all comes down to the dice rolling mechanism, that we are trying to build poker hands, and I can see you build your poker hand as the dice rolls go on. And I like that I'm able to see what you're doing, and I can decide whether I want to compete with you or do I want to abandon it and go for something else. I enjoyed that, but some people around the table I played with did find it a little frustrating. that they, let's say we're going for the sheriff, so they want to roll kings. And they're rolling, let's say they rolled 4 kings, and on the final roll, they didn't, they got an ace or whatever else. Someone else that they're competing with just happens to roll the 5th king. It all comes down to luck. But now that person who has the 4 kings has lost out on the sheriff, and they also will lose out on the poker hand. So they go to Doc Bad Luck. I enjoy that there is Doc Bad Luck for people that, have not gotten anything during the round. But on the other hand, going to Doc Bad Luck too many times mean that you fail to get the main action spaces several times. And people did find that frustrating because Doc Bad Luck, although it gives you a decent thing to do, is not a great thing to do. The other action spaces are the great things to do. So people did find that frustrating. For me, you know what, this is a light game. I can see this game getting samey that if you play it multiple times in a row or you play it a bunch close together. So for me, this is a game that I'm going to keep in my collection. I'm not going to be bringing it out every board game session. I'm going to be bringing it out, every so often. But it's a game I quite enjoyed. So until next time, thanks for watching. This has been Graeme Anderson from Four Corners of the Board. Thank you for watching another review from the Four Corners of the Board. Please like and subscribe to these videos. You can also follow us on social media, email us directly, or check out our website at fourcornersoftheboard.com.